I feel the spirit moving in me. I feel the spirit moving in me.
Rumi was a respected 13th century scholar and teacher in Turkey. He had a stable life, family, a successful career. However, one day his life changed in a huge way, dramatically changed, when he met a wandering dervish named Shams-e Tabrizi. One day, Rumi was teaching in the marketplace, and Shams approached him and asked, "Who is greater, Muhammad or Bestami?" Now, this was quite a provocative question, as Muhammad was the prophet of Islam, while Bestami was a renowned Sufi mystic who had made controversial statements about his own spiritual status. By asking this question, Shams was likely testing the understanding of the different levels of spiritual realization that Rumi had. According to some Sufi traditions, Bestami had pronounced ecstatically, "Glory be to me," which was interpreted by many that he was placing himself in the position of God. And Rumi, demonstrating his nuanced, broad understanding of the matter, gave a thoughtful and brilliant response. He said, "Muhammad is greater in terms of prophecy, but Bestami is greater in terms of spiritual realization." Satisfied with Rumi's answer, Shams then asked another probing question. He said, "What is the goal of your teaching and your learning?" Rumi replied, "To gain knowledge and wisdom." Shams responded with a powerful statement, and he said, "The true goal is to surrender to divine love and be consumed by it." And these words struck like a chord within Rumi's heart. He recognized that Shams was a spiritual guide that could lead him even deeper in the love that he was seeking. Rumi then left his teaching position and became Shams' devoted student and companion. And their intense friendship transformed Rumi from a mystical poet to a master of love's fierce embrace. And so that's what we're looking at today. This talk is titled, "Rumi, the Master of Love's Fierce Embrace." And we're going to look at how can we embrace this love? Or as our song mentioned earlier, how can we surrender to this love in such a way that we embrace it, we feel it, we live it in everything that we think, say, and do? It becomes our path, right, for spiritual awareness and enlightenment and involvement in the world. Don't you want that? Right? And so Rumi is going to give us the keys to do that today. We will discover this fierce love that Rumi embraces. Now, I know you might be thinking, to love fiercely, Does that mean to overcome fear and resistance? Well, that sounds about as easy as giving a cat a bath, doesn't it? But fear not, my friends, because we have this incredible wisdom of Rumi as our trusty guide on this journey today. So in today's talk, we're going to delve into an enchanting metaphor for our soul as Rumi's poem, The Guest House. Anybody heard this poem before, read this poem? I love this poem. And so we're going to look at what the deeper, one of the perhaps many deeper meanings of this poem is, and how we can use the inspiration from this poem and apply it to our lives so we can feel this fierce love that Rumi talks about. And Rumi offers us a secret. And the secret is that we want to open with open arms and an open heart every guest into our guest house. And we're going to learn to be happy, to do a happy dance, to sit down and have a heart-to-heart talk with sorrow. We're going to even offer anger a cup of chamomile tea. Rumi's teachings in the guest house reveal how we can develop this courage to fiercely face our fears and our doubts and our resistances so that we can turn life's challenges into opportunities and appreciate the wisdom and love that's there for us, that innate essence within us. So let's dive in, shall we? Let's look at the magic of Rumi's guest house together. And I'll go through the entire poem, and then we'll take it and we'll break it down as to what each line means. This human being is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meaningness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected guest. Welcome and entertain them all, Rumi says, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. How about that, huh? So the first line is, this being human is a guest house. So imagine your life as a cozy little bed and breakfast, complete with fluffy pillows, delicious breakfasts, and an ever-rotating list of guests. Your mind is the innkeeper, welcoming all sorts of visitors, some delightful, some quirky, some downright challenging. But here is the catch. You cannot put up a no vacancy sign. Welcome to the guest house of you. So let's take a little journey into this guest house of your mind. You see, like any good bed and breakfast, the inner guest house gets all kinds of visitors Some are welcome, some bring joy, others not so much. But for this moment, we're going to focus on the uninvited guests, the ones we label sometimes as fears or resistances. So maybe you've seen some of these guests.
I mean, we didn't expect you back so soon.
Boy, I didn't expect to see you here tonight.
Oh, I didn't expect you to come in today. I really...
Oh, I didn't expect to see you here.
Sure, I didn't expect to see you here.
I didn't expect you to have a mustache.
Sheriff, I didn't expect to see you here.
I didn't expect you back tonight.
Mrs. Robinson, you didn't expect...
I didn't expect to see you here. How are you?
I hadn't expected to see you like this.
Or this one. Whoops. I was not going to play for whatever reason. Shoot. I love that one too. Anybody know who that is? It's Mae West. Yeah. She's saying, hey, oh boy, why don't you come up and see me sometime? And so that's the way we want to open our guest house, right? By saying, come on in, big boy. Come up and see me sometime. I guess she didn't say it, so I could. So let's enter the guest house of your mind. So I invite you, we're not really going to do a meditation, but we'll do kind of a reflection. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And picture your inner guest house. Imagine the front door, the cozy living room, the welcoming atmosphere you've created. Now think about a particular fear or resistance that you sometimes feel. You know the one, the nagging thought that makes itself home in your mind. The worry that keeps popping up when you least expect it. Maybe it's the fear of ill health or not having enough money, or perhaps it's having challenges in your relationships. Maybe it's fear of failure, rejection, or resistance to change, or something else, Ever have that guest in your guest house? Does this fear or resistance come with a suitcase of worries, unpacking its belongings all over your neat and tidy space? Does it sometimes rearrange the furniture, making you feel unsettled and uncomfortable? Maybe it even tries to throw a party, inviting other negative thoughts to join in the chaos. So take a moment and just really be aware of this guest. How does it make you feel? Does it stir up any anxiety or doubt or frustration? Notice the effect it has on your inner environment. You might even say to it, big boy, come up and see me sometime. And I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. The next line in the poem is, every morning a new arrival. Every day, your guest house, your mind brings in new emotions, new experiences. Yeah. And some of them unexpected, right? So with this in mind, picture, how do you typically react to these guests? Do you try to ignore them or squeeze them outside? Or do you pay attention to them and listen to them? Or do you sit with them and try to understand why, to invite them in to have a cup of tea with you? Or do you ask them, what are you trying to tell me? What is it I can know? The next line is a joy, a depression, meaningness. Rumi says that life is a rich tapestry, right? Woven with a vast range of emotions, from the light and uplifting to the heavy and the challenging. And Rumi acknowledges these visitors with lightness. He says, welcome that joy, welcome that depression, welcome that sadness, welcome that meanness that sometimes stirs up discomfort in your house. And he goes on to say, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Ever had that? To me, it's like a flash of awareness that sometimes we can see it as negative, and sometimes we can see it as, oh my God, all of a sudden I see the light. All of a sudden I see what's really going on here. Or it could be, oh my God, this is horrible, right? Look at how I'm thinking. Look at how I'm being. Look at how I'm acting. But the whole idea is Rumi is saying, just pay attention. Be aware of this unexpected visitor. They appear without warning, much like an unannounced guest, but they have the power to shift our thinking and our heart, and to engage our hearts in a deeper truth. So just reflect for a moment for the fun of it. Have you had one of those recently? Have you had like an aha moment where you realize the truth of something, right? Or when you realize how much you love somebody, right? Or how much you love yourself. Or had you ever have the thought when you say something, you go, who was that? Right? Who said that? Certainly wasn't me, right? But it's interesting because it's somewhere in your unconscious and it comes up so that we can recognize it and say, oh, wow, look at that negative thought that I had. Not me, not this student of unity wouldn't have a negative thought, right? And then Rumi goes on to say, welcome and entertain them all. He suggests welcome these experiences, positive or negative, as part of your growth. What happens when we say, no, I'm not going to face that. No, that's not the truth for me. What happens? Yeah, we create what? Resistance, right? And as soon as we create resistance, what happens? Something pushes back, doesn't it? How's that saying go? That which we resist, persist. So, it's interesting because, the basic idea of this is healing, right? So how do you think healing works with resistance? How do you think that works? Right? If we're looking to heal something, do we get mad at it? Do we swear at it? Do we cuss at our arm because it's cut or hurt? A friend of ours just went through cancer treatment, both the chemotherapy and the other one, what's the ultrasound? Radiation. And she said that they told her when she was getting ready to go through this process, they said, Do not hate your cancer. Do not see it as an enemy, right? Instead, see it as a friend that you're going to work with to heal. Can you see the difference? Wow, it's huge. For so long, we've been taught to push the things that don't taste good, feel good away, instead of embracing them and saying, what can I learn from you? How can I be with this? How can I love even my cancer, right? How can I be a part of this healing? And I know for some, this probably sounds really gross, and I understand that because it's kind of a jump in perception. It's a different way of perceiving what's happening and responding to everything out of love. Because if we dislike one thing, we're going to what? We're going to dislike other things, right? This is really, the essence of this poem is to teach us to embrace all that is, to accept all that is. I think that probably one of the most profound teachings in the spiritual work that we do is acceptance, right? Because when we accept what is, then we can stand in our power and our love and deal with it in a way that we can work with it to heal it. Can you see the difference? Can you just feel that, right? Anything in your life, any experience that you've had that you can change your perception about? Instead of pushing it away, is there something that you can accept? Sometimes I've heard New Agey people say, well, acceptance means that I am okay with it, right? And that I want more of that. Well, that's old thinking, right? The new thought is love what is. We can transform what is by loving it, loving ourselves. So take a breath and breathe into that. Feel that, right? That's because if we love ourselves, we can love the world, right? If we can love ourselves, we can love other people. And the whole teaching of Rumi is about love, loving fiercely. So fiercely that we can love the things that we once resisted. Breathe into that. And he says it so well in the next verse. He says, even if there are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, imagine that gang coming to your house, right? Wow. Even painful experiences that disturb our lives hold valuable lessons. These experiences seem overwhelming and destructive, right? But they often pave the way for what? New experiences, new ways of loving deeper, new ways of being more present. Imagine, and I'm sure we've all lost jobs, or many of us have. Imagine losing a job that you truly loved, right? And I lost a job that I truly loved, being a minister of a church. And I loved that church, and I loved that job. But I lost it, and it was painful, right? But I can look back at it now and go, wow, I'm in Maui, right? I can now say thank you to that experience because it brought me here. It brought me, to a deeper understanding of myself. It brought me to this amazing community, to be in this amazing service and have this amazing staff of people around us and these amazing musicians. It's just to be able to let go and say, wow, what if we could do that sooner, right? And say, okay, This is painful, this hurts, there's some loss here, but I know there's something more dramatic and more powerful and more able for me to fiercely love it in the future. Rumi goes on to say, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. How many times has that happened in your life? Right? When you move from one situation, one experience to another, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, look where I am now. Look what I've got now. Look at the consciousness that's here right now. Wow. Someone said one time that was looking for a car, and they were like, I hate my old car. And I had the thought to say to them, love your old car. Love your old car. Because loving your old car is going to set the field for you to experience a new one that you can love. Right? Because as soon as we decide what we're not going to love, the universe says, okay, you want some more of that? I hear you. You want some more stuff not to love? Well, how about some of this? And how about some of that? Rumi goes on to say, the dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Can you imagine? It seems kind of absurd, doesn't it? Right? But imagine having that kind of an attitude. To say, oh, come on in. Let's play. Let's party. Woo! I love you. I bless you. We can even treat the negative thoughts with love. Come on in. Right? Rather than pushing them away, just say, what are you here to share with me? What can I learn from you? Consider, what does that mean for you? To face the thoughts that aren't so much fun with love. Right? This is how things get transformed. Love transforms. Not fear, not resistance. Love transforms. Definitely not more anger. Anger does not transform. Anger creates what? More anger creates separation, right? We want to talk about unity. We want to talk about healing. We want to talk about being our fullness. And then Rumi ties it all together with this statement. He says, be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Wow. It's like, kind of reminds me of we believe that everything in the universe is connected. Everything is connected. Everything is all one in quantum theory. And it's almost like the universe has some knowledge. And I think it's even deeper than that. I think that when we have resistance, the universe, the presence, the love, the energy of life says, oh, you got some resistance around that? I got just the recipe for you, right? And it's like, oh, you got some resistance? Well, here's some stuff to resist. Ever notice? Doesn't it seem like the universe is constantly offering us opportunities for spiritual advancement? Yippee! Isn't that great? It's like, wow, you want some lessons in your life? Just get out there and start resisting, right? That's the quickest key to find spiritual truth, is just to go out and resist. Don't quote me on that. Well, it is true, though. Oh, wow. So, we want to embrace every experience every guest as is a valuable teacher that's come to us to offer some incredible teaching that's going to transform our lives. So let's do an exercise. Let's have fun for a moment. You know, we all have at least one guest in our mental guest house who, shall we say, is kind of a pain. Right? You got one? You go, Ralph, I got about 10. All right, we're just going to deal with one right now. You know, the guy who overstays their welcome, who comes in and eats all the snacks, leaves dirty dishes and clothes everywhere, right? You know, I'm talking about your fears and your resistance. So close your eyes for a second. And this isn't quite our meditation. We're getting close to that. But so close your eyes for a second and picture your cozy little guest house with your fluffy pillows and your warm tea, maybe even a few cookies laying around. Uh-oh, but wait, who's that knocking on the door? Is it fear or failure? Maybe it's procrastination, lounging in your couch like they own the place? Or could it be self-doubt or worrying about your health or your finances? Who could that be? Looking in your fridge at 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, open your eyes. Did you see who it was? All right, and you got a name for it? All right, and it's been hanging around a while, right? So we're going to let that go, right? So first of all, we're going to identify who it is. So on the count of 3, I want everybody to yell out the name, the one word that identifies that person in your guest house, right? And nobody's listening to anybody else but yourself, right? You're not trying to, what are they saying? What's Robin saying? You really want to know what Robin's thinking, right? Okay, you got one? Are you going to play it with me? Because you never know what's going to happen. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Why? We got a crowded house today, don't we? But here's the thing. Recognizing our guests is the first step in healing, as is, awareness is always the first step in healing. So let's take a deep breath. And breathing in. And now we are gonna go into a meditation. And I invite you, just be willing to welcome this pesky guest with a bit of humor and a lot of love. Because remember, even the most pesky guests have something to teach us. So breathing in. Breathing into the fullness of your lungs, into that place of comfort and relaxation. As your eyes are closed and you breathe deep, allow yourself to settle into this moment, to feel the love and the support of the chair and the floor beneath you. And let us embark on a journey of transformation, guided by the truth of Rumi. And as we journey, I invite you to continue your deep breathing, relaxing. And imagine your mind as a cozy guest house, a warm and welcoming place. See the door of your guest house wide open, ready to welcome any visitor that comes your way. Now bring to your mind that specific guest that you identified earlier. And picture it approaching your guest house. It might look like a shadowy figure, a nervous energy, perhaps something more specific. As it gets closer, remember Rumi's words. Welcome, and entertain them all. Visualize yourself standing at the door of your guest house, a soft smile on your face. You say to this guest, welcome, come in, and let me entertain you. Have a seat. And you treat it honorably as you would an old friend, one who has come a long way to visit. And take another deep breath. And remind yourself that he may clearing you out. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. This fearful one, this doubtful one, this challenging one, this resisting one might be here to make space for something wonderful that is yet to come. Embrace the possibility that this visitor has a purpose, even though it might not be immediately clear. And now imagine meeting this guest at the door laughing with a light heart and a sense of humor. You say, come on in. I've been expecting you. Feel the shift in energy as you greet this fear with joy. And as you sit and enjoy a cup of tea with this friend, thank it for coming. Be grateful for whatever comes. Because as Rumi says, each has been sent as a guide from above. Acknowledge that this guest is here to teach you something valuable, to guide you on your path. Take a few moments to sit with this feeling of gratitude, to breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, send a wave of love and appreciation to your guest. Know that it is welcome, that you are open to its lessons. breathing in, breathing out. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to this moment, to feel the chair beneath you, the ground under your feet. Take one more breath, and as you exhale, slowly open your eyes. Rumi reminds us to welcome every visitor to our guest house. To remember that all fear and resistance is a guest that we get to embrace and transform. That they're here to help you grow, to help you clear out so you can experience your fullness, to guide you into a deeper understanding of yourself. Carry this practice with you and let it transform the way you experience these guests that come into your mind to visit you. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meaningness, some momentary awareness that comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I changed this. Let's say it this way. I welcome all my guests with an open heart. Let's say that together. I welcome all my guests with an open heart. And so it is. Well, I invite you at this time to prepare your offerings and your gifts to Unity on Maui. And I invite you to consider any guests that you might welcome into the guest house of your mind this week, perhaps in a new way. I invite you really to try this practice that we're doing today. Someone said that it works if you work it. These truth practices that we do every week only work if you work them. So I invite you just to consider a friend to your guest house that you can apply these wide words of Rumi to embrace them with laughter. I love that. That just come on in, welcome. So it's a different way than we were taught as children, right, or as adults. But just to say, welcome, look at this feeling, this thought I'm having. Isn't it amazing? And then to be able to just love yourself, right? It's all so much about love. So I invite you to hold your gift in the essence of that same love. Just to be thankful for all that you have. Gosh, great gratitude, I think, is just the most amazing spiritual principle that we can have. It changes us immediately. As soon as we embrace gratitude, it changes our energy. It opens us up to experience our light. It opens our hearts. Feeling just so grateful. So grateful. To be so grateful. To have these amazing and varied lives that we have. To be on Maui as a guest or a resident. To be in these bodies as a guest. Right? This is where we get to be right now. This is our guest house. How nice is that, huh? So as you behold and give thanks for your guest house, for all you are, for all you have, let's affirm and pray together our blessing of prosperity. Let's say it together. Together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we embrace them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they are moving in and through this ministry. And we open our hearts as this ministry to our world, giving thanks for all life on this amazing, beautiful planet upon which we live. And we behold each man, woman, and child in this love, in this light. And we behold this planet being a planet of peace, of joy, of beauty, and of love. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you. All right, we've got just a few announcements today. First of all, you can always donate flowers to us on Sunday morning. These beautiful flowers are artificially made, but they're so beautiful and they stand in when we don't have other live flowers up here on Sunday morning. So you're welcome to bring them and to beautify the front of our church on Sunday. There's a sign-up sheet in the back, and if you pick a date, sign up on that date, tell us why you're donating the flowers. We would be happy to mention them, and the best part is you get to take them home with you afterwards. And as you know, coming up on June 9th is our celebration of life for Kachina. And Kachina's son is coming to Maui to be at our service on that Sunday, and also to be a part of our celebration of life for Kachina. And he is going to cater lunch for all of us. And you're welcome to stay whether or not you were here during the time that Kachina was here. But what he is asking is that we RSVP to him so that he knows how much food to plan on having catered for us. So please come, please write down the phone number, and please call. I think Louise Lambert is actually collecting the names. So please call and make reservations so that we can come and have a celebration together. It's going to kind of, we're not calling it a service. because it's not going to be a formal service. It will be, as Rob would like it, a casual getting together. And we're going to invite anyone up who has a song or a poem or a story to share about Kachina, for Kachina. You know, she was here for decades. I'm not sure how many, 30 anyway, and volunteered her time and her energy and her love as the choir director. And it's kind of fun. We've been going through, there's a file cabinet here in the hallway. I think it might be like 8 drawers or something, right? Just full of music that Kachina collected over the 30 years or whatever it was. And it just, it's been fun. We pulled some of that out and been able to look at it and found old services and music that was sung years and years ago and orders of service that really has been fun to reflect on and to remember what Kachina brought to this ministry and to really look at some of our history. So anyway, I've given you time to take a picture and take the number down as I rambling on. But please do that, and we'll talk more about it as time gets closer. But it's only a few weeks away, so I think it's 3 weeks away. Simple Pleasures Band is playing at the Coffee Attic on Wednesday, May 29th. That's this coming Wednesday. And raise your hand if you're in the room and you're in this band. Oh, wow. And also Rita, the bass player, is part of this band also. So I'll leave this flyer on the table, and you can take a look at it before you go and write it down, because that is this coming Wednesday, is it not? It's 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Coffee Attic in Wailuku. Oldies, originals, folk and traditional, Hawaiian, Latin, and more. So John, would you take this and put this on the table back there? Thank you, Lindy. All right, let's give the band a hand for doing that. All those amazing people. And I heard that Marianne played at Empanada Lady last night, right? And I'm kicking myself, even though I'm not as limber as I used to be. I used to be able to kick myself for not going, because John shared some stories with me this morning about how he was moved by the music last night and by Mary. He was telling me the story, and he's like, wow, I got chills up and down my spine as I'm telling you the story of Marianne singing last night and the music that was played. And wow, but there's going to be more to come, and I'm committed to going, and I hope you will too, to support Marianne and the amazing music that she does, and all of our musicians and the amazing music and what they offer to our island. Oh, Marlene helped with a video last night. Did it go on Facebook? No. Is it going to? It's going on YouTube. Well, let us know. Please give me a link to that. I'd love to let that be known. Fabulous. All right then. Next week is the second week in our 3-week series on Rumi. His teachings, his life, his poetry, and his wisdom. Next week, my talk is titled Rumi's Path to Embracing the Divine. And we're really going to look at his poetry and what can we bring out of that poetry that helps us to connect with the divine, with the presence of love, with the, if you call it God or spirit, or how can we connect with this allness that we are, this amazing, multidimensional beingness of love that we are. And so we'll talk about that next week right here at 10 o'clock. And if you enjoyed today's talk, I have a walk your talk in the back. It doesn't look like that. It's white, but I did it, it's green because it showed up on my slide. And in that is the poem, of course, and some of the interpretation that I talked about today. I hope you'll take it and apply it to your life. And with that being said, anything else from the amazing musician, Robin Fisher?
Come do the peace song with me.
All right, they're going to play us out. But first, we'll do the prayer for protection and the peace song. Oh, let's take a deep breath, breathing in. Thank you for being here today. And let's pray together the prayer for protection, which begins, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. Thank you, friends, for being here today. God bless you out there on Facebook.
Where I live, there are rain.